In the farthest reaches of the northern hemisphere, Alaska emerges as a land sculpted by extremes. Here, winter is not simply a passage of time, it is a formidable presence, a force that shapes every contour of the landscape and dictates the rhythm of life for all who dwell within its grasp. As the season deepens, the world is transformed beneath a ceaseless cascade of snow. Flakes drift from the sky in endless procession, layering the earth in a dense, sound-absorbing shroud. Rivers slow and freeze, their surfaces glazed with ice, while forests stand silent, their branches bowed under the relentless weight. The sun's arc grows ever lower until it vanishes entirely below the horizon. For weeks, the land is enveloped in a perpetual twilight, where the faintest glow struggles to pierce the thick, leaden clouds. Day and night dissolve into one another, and the world is bathed in a cold, ethereal blue. Temperatures plunge with merciless precision, often reaching levels where exposed skin freezes in seconds. Snowdrifts rise like frozen waves, swallowing the familiar contours of the land. Even the most resilient plants are entombed beneath layers of ice, their forms preserved in a crystalline silence until the distant thaw. For the wild inhabitants of this realm, winter is a crucible. Caribou and moose wade through chest-deep snow, their powerful limbs adapted for the slow, exhausting trek. Wolves prowl the white silence, their breath steaming in the air, every sense attuned to the faintest sign of prey. Gale-force winds sweep across the open tundra, sculpting the snow into rippling drifts and obliterating all traces of movement. Tracks vanish within moments, erased by the ceaseless dance of wind and ice. The cold is not merely a sensation, it is a presence, seeping into every crevice, chilling the marrow of every living thing. Movement becomes a calculated risk. Moose and caribou conserve energy by resting in sheltered hollows, their bodies insulated by thick fur and layers of fat. The lynx curls into a tight ball, its paws tucked beneath its body, minimizing heat loss as it waits for the cover of darkness to hunt. The snow itself is both adversary and ally. For the snowshoe hare, oversized feet act as natural snowshoes, distributing weight and allowing it to skim across the surface. Foxes and wolves, however, must dig and paw through the drifts, expending precious energy in the search for hidden prey. The vibrant tapestry of summer is now locked away. Beneath the snow, plants enter a state of deep dormancy, their life forces withdrawn into roots and bulbs. Above ground, only the most tenacious shrubs remain visible, their branches brittle and rimed with frost, awaiting the sun's return. Food is a rare and precious commodity. Ptarmigans scratch at the icy crust for seeds, while squirrels gnaw on frozen cones, their teeth adapted to break through the toughest shells. Foxes dig tirelessly, their keen noses detecting the faintest scent of life beneath the snow. Night in the Alaskan winter is a realm of shadows and silence. Owls glide soundlessly between the trees, their wings adapted for stealth, eyes piercing the darkness in search of the slightest movement. Predators rely on acute hearing and night vision, navigating a world where every sound is amplified by the hush of snow. Adaptation is the key to survival. The ermine's coat shifts from brown to pure white, rendering it nearly invisible against the snow. The Arctic fox's fur thickens and lightens, providing both camouflage and insulation. Even the snowshoe hare's fur changes, blending perfectly with the winter landscape. In the heart of the forest, a profound stillness settles. Animals retreat to nests and burrows, insulated by layers of moss, fur, and snow. Here in these hidden sanctuaries, they ride out the worst of the cold, their bodies slowed, their needs reduced to the bare minimum. Each species has evolved a unique strategy for enduring the long winter. Musk oxen form tight circles, their dense underwool trapping heat as they shield one another from the wind. Solitary hunters, like the lynx, rely on stealth and patience, moving only when the odds favor success. Deep beneath the snow, brown bears enter a state of torpor. Their heartbeats slow, and their bodies draw on reserves of fat insulated by earth and snow. In these hidden dens, they sleep through the darkest months, emerging only when the world begins to thaw. Not all can afford the luxury of rest. Wolverines roam vast territories, their powerful limbs carrying them over ice and snow in search of carrion. Wolves travel in packs, their coordinated hunts a testament to endurance and cooperation, each member playing a vital role in the struggle for survival. Fur becomes a lifeline. Underneath the outer guard hairs, a dense layer of underwool traps body heat, while frost clings harmlessly to the tips. Fat reserves build up in autumn, providing both insulation and energy for the lean months ahead. Behaviors shift with the season's demands. Ravens scavenge opportunistically, their intelligence guiding them to hidden caches of food. Ptarmigan burrow into the snow, creating insulated chambers that shield them from the biting wind and predators alike. The moose, towering and solitary, forages for submerged twigs and bark, its breath steaming in the frigid air. The snowshoe hare, nimble and alert, darts across open fields, its tracks a fleeting record of its passage through the powdery drifts. Beneath the snow's surface, a hidden world thrives. Voles and lemmings tunnel through the sub-Nivean layer, insulated from the worst of the cold and shielded from predators above. Here, life persists in miniature, sustained by the warmth trapped beneath the snowpack. The soundscape of winter is one of profound quiet. The muffled hush of falling snow, the distant howl of a wolf, and the occasional creak of ice are the only interruptions in a world otherwise stilled by cold. Even the wind, when it rises, carries a sharp, crystalline clarity. In the endless night, vision and memory become essential tools. The lynx moves with ghostly silence, its eyes reflecting the faintest light as it stalks through the gloom. Every shadow is scrutinized, every scent analyzed, as animals navigate a world where danger and opportunity are cloaked in darkness. Camouflage is perfected in this frozen theatre. The ptarmigan, nearly indistinguishable from the snow, evades predators by vanishing into its surroundings. Every adaptation, from fur to feather, is a response to the relentless demands of the Arctic winter. The saga of Alaska's winter is one of silent endurance and remarkable ingenuity. From the solitary fox to the mighty herd of caribou, each creature is a living testament to the power of adaptation, thriving in a world where only the most resilient survive. Here, in the long dark winter, life endures, unyielding, resourceful, and ever watchful for the first hint of returning light. Alaska's winter is a crucible, forging creatures of extraordinary resilience and adaptation. Here, survival is not just about endurance, but about mastering the very elements that define this frozen wilderness. Every snowflake, every gust of wind becomes a test, one that only the most ingenious can pass. The Canada lynx, elusive and silent, glides through the forest like a shadow. Its entire anatomy is sculpted for winter, stealth, and efficiency. The lynx's whiskers, sensitive to the faintest air currents, help it detect hidden obstacles beneath the snow, while its acute hearing pinpoints the muffled scurry of prey tunneling below. Each paw is fringed with dense fur, increasing surface area and insulating against the biting cold, while specialized joints allow for silent, precise movement atop the powdery drifts. The lynx's gait is calculated to distribute weight evenly, preventing it from breaking through fragile snow crusts that would betray its presence. The lynx's vision is finely tuned to the low, blue-tinged light of winter, enabling it to spot the faintest twitch of a hare's ear beneath the snow-laden undergrowth. Its eyes, adapted to amplify scarce light, allow it to hunt efficiently during the long twilight hours, when prey is most active. Its silvery coat is not just camouflage, it's a thermal barrier, trapping warmth close to the body, while the black ear tufts act as directional antennae, capturing the subtlest sounds in the stillness. The lynx's solitary nature is a strategy, reducing competition for scarce winter prey and minimizing the risk of detection by larger predators. Caribou, the tireless wanderers of the tundra, are engineered for perpetual motion across the snowbound expanse. Their thick winter coats consist of hollow hairs, trapping air for insulation and buoyancy, even allowing them to cross icy rivers without succumbing to the cold. Their migrations, spanning hundreds of kilometers, are synchronized with the shifting seasons, guided by an innate sense of direction that scientists are only beginning to understand. Caribou use subtle cues, magnetic fields, polarized light, and even the scent of distant lichen to navigate the vast, featureless tundra. The caribou's hooves adapt with the seasons, broad and splayed in winter for flotation on snow, then sharpening in spring to cut through ice and dig for hidden forage. Their tendons snap audibly as they walk, a unique adaptation that helps herd members stay together in blinding snowstorms. Beneath the snow they unearth lichen, an ancient, slow-growing symbiosis of fungus and algae, providing vital sustenance when all else is locked away by frost. Caribou can detect lichen beneath layers of snow using their keen sense of smell, and their powerful neck muscles allow them to dig tirelessly for hours. Their herds move as a living shield, swirling and shifting to confuse predators, while calves learn to navigate the snow from their very first steps. The synchronized movement of thousands creates shifting patterns that disorient wolves and other hunters, a living blizzard of hooves and fur. Towering moose and bison, icons of Alaska's wild, possess dense, hollow fur that traps air for insulation, and powerful muscles to plow through chest-deep snow in search of willow and sedge. Their long legs are not just for height. They allow these giants to stride over snowdrifts that would trap lesser creatures. The Alaskan wolf, a master strategist, is built for both speed and stamina. Its wide, furred paws leave barely a trace on the snow's surface. Wolves instinctively follow the paths of caribou and moose, using the packed trails to conserve energy during long hunts. Within the pack, each wolf has a role: scouts, chasers, and ambushers, coordinating with uncanny precision to outwit prey in the labyrinth of the winter forest. Their howls, echoing across the frozen landscape, serve as both communication and a means to gauge the distance and direction of rival packs. They exploit the snow's depth, driving larger animals into exhaustion, while their own bodies are optimized for relentless pursuit over frozen ground. Wolves instinctively read the snow's texture, choosing routes where crusted layers support their weight but hinder their prey. Wolves can traverse vast distances, their thick undercoats shielding them from wind chill, and their keen sense of smell tracking prey trails invisible to the human eye. In the coldest months, their metabolism shifts, allowing them to endure long periods without food, conserving energy for the next hunt. High above the valleys, Dall sheep reign over the alpine heights, where the air is thin and the snow is sculpted by relentless winds. Their lungs are specially adapted to extract oxygen efficiently, a necessity in the rarefied mountain air. Their compact bodies and muscular limbs are built for vertical ascents, allowing them to scale sheer cliffs that deter all but the most determined predators. Dall sheep memorize the safest routes across treacherous ledges, passing this knowledge from ewe to lamb. The dazzling white of their coats is more than camouflage. It reflects solar radiation, helping regulate body temperature during sudden mountain storms. Their woolly underlayer traps warmth, while the outer guard hairs repel snow and ice, keeping their skin dry even in blizzards. Their hooves, with a hard outer rim and a soft, grippy core, function like natural crampons, anchoring them securely on icy ledges and jagged stone. The split design allows each toe to spread, maximizing grip on the most precarious surfaces. In this vertical world, Dall sheep graze on wind-scoured ledges, their lives a delicate balance between gravity and survival, embodying the ultimate mastery of Alaska's snowbound extremes. Here, every adaptation is a testament to the ingenuity of life, thriving where winter's grip is absolute. In the heart of Alaska's relentless winter, Survival is a slow, grinding contest, one that rewards not the swift, but the steadfast. Here, the sun's pale arc barely grazes the horizon, casting long shadows over a world locked in ice. Temperatures plummet to extremes that test the limits of life itself, and for months the land is gripped by a silence broken only by the wind's mournful howl. Every living thing, from the largest beast to the smallest sprig of moss, must summon patience and resilience to endure the season's trials. The moose, towering and solitary, is a master of this frozen realm. Its immense body, cloaked in a dense insulating coat, is built to conserve precious warmth. Each step through the deep snow is measured and deliberate as the moose navigates a world transformed by ice. The moose's broad hooves act as natural snowshoes, distributing its weight and allowing it to traverse drifts that would trap lighter creatures. It moves with a slow, almost meditative rhythm, conserving energy with every stride. The moose's thick fur traps layers of air, creating a barrier against the biting wind. Its long legs, powerful and sure, allow it to stride where smaller animals would flounder, breaking trails through drifts that can swallow lesser creatures whole. Frost gathers on its coat, a testament to the warmth locked beneath. Even its nostrils are adapted, warming the air before it reaches the lungs, a small but vital defense against the cold. In winter, the moose's world shrinks. It must rely on what little the land provides: frozen shrubs, the tough bark of willow and birch, and the occasional evergreen shoot. Each mouthful is hard-won, and every calorie counts. The moose's digestive system is uniquely adapted to extract nutrients from woody plants, allowing it to survive on food sources that would be indigestible to most. To survive on such meager fare, the moose slows its pace, conserving energy by moving only when necessary and resting often. Its existence becomes a careful balance. Expend too much energy, and it risks starvation. Move too little, and it may not find enough to eat. The moose's patience is a daily calculation, a quiet endurance that stretches from the first snowfall to the last thaw. This is the rhythm of endurance, slow, patient, and unwavering, a quiet determination to outlast the cold until the first hints of spring return. The moose's stillness is not defeat, but strategy, a way to stretch limited resources through the long, hungry months. On the open tundra, the musk ox stands as a living relic of the Ice Age. These formidable animals are built not for speed, but for survival in the harshest conditions on Earth. Their squat, muscular bodies are low to the ground, minimizing exposure to the wind, and their social bonds are as vital as their physical adaptations. Their secret lies in their extraordinary coat, a double layer of long, shaggy guard hairs and a dense, silky underwool called kiviot, finer than cashmere and 8 times warmer than sheep's wool. This natural armor shields them from winds that can freeze exposed skin in minutes. The outer hairs shed snow and moisture, while the underwool traps heat close to the body, creating a microclimate of warmth. Musk oxen endure the cold not only through their coats, but through unity. In the worst storms, they form tight circles, calves in the center, adults bracing the wind. Their patience is communal, their endurance shared. Each animal leans into the next, creating a living fortress against the elements, their breath mingling in the frozen air. Rather than migrate, musk oxen use their powerful hooves to break through crusted snow, uncovering sedges and mosses hidden beneath. Every bite is a victory against the frozen ground, every slow movement a calculated effort to conserve energy. Their diet is sparse, but their digestive systems are efficient, extracting every possible nutrient from the tundra's meager offerings. Their lives are measured in heartbeats and breaths, each one a testament to the power of patience in a world where haste means death. The musk ox's stillness is a shield, its slow movements a lesson in survival honed over millennia. In stark contrast, the Arctic fox is a creature of agility and cunning, yet it too is defined by endurance. Its compact body, short muzzle, and rounded ears are all sculpted by evolution to minimize heat loss, while its thick, white coat blends seamlessly into the snow. The fox's paws are furred for insulation, and its metabolism can slow to conserve energy during the leanest times. The Arctic fox's patience is legendary. It can wait for hours, listening intently for the faintest sound of prey beneath the snow. When the moment comes, it leaps high and dives headfirst, breaking through the icy crust to snatch a hidden meal. Its hearing is so acute it can pinpoint the movement of a vole tunneling beneath several feet of snow, but even the most skilled hunter cannot always find food. The Arctic fox survives lean times by following in the footsteps of larger predators, scavenging what remains after wolves or polar bears have fed. It is an opportunist, adapting its diet to whatever the land provides: carrion, berries, even seaweed along the frozen coast. This opportunism, combined with an unyielding patience, allows the Arctic fox to endure when others might perish. It caches surplus food in shallow holes, returning to these hidden stores when hunting proves fruitless. Each day is a test of resourcefulness and restraint. When the wind howls and the snow deepens, the fox curls into a tight ball, tail wrapped around its nose, waiting out the storm in a cocoon of fur and patience. Its heartbeat slows, and it enters a state of near stillness, conserving every ounce of energy until the blizzard passes. The brown bear, Alaska's largest predator, faces winter with a different strategy. As the days shorten, it enters a state of relentless feeding, devouring salmon, berries, and roots to build up a thick layer of fat. This preparation is a race against time, as the bear must double its body weight before the first snow falls. When the first snows fall, the bear retreats to a den carved into the earth, or beneath tangled roots. Here it surrenders to the ultimate act of patience, hibernation. The den is lined with leaves and moss, a sanctuary from the biting cold above. For months the bear's heart slows, its breathing deepens, and its body draws on stored fat. It neither eats nor drinks, surviving in a suspended state until the world thaws. Even pregnant females give birth in this torpor, nursing their tiny cubs in the darkness of the den. This is endurance at its most profound, a silent, unseen battle against time and hunger, won only by those who can wait out the darkness and greet the returning sun. The bear's patience is absolute, its survival a testament to the power of preparation and stillness. Even the plants of Alaska's winter wilderness are models of endurance and patience. Spruce and birch trees slow their metabolism, drawing water deep into their roots to avoid freezing. Mosses and lichens, clinging to rocks and tree trunks, enter a dormant state, waiting for the brief warmth of spring to awaken. In this land of extremes, every living thing is shaped by the demands of patience and the necessity of endurance. Each day survived is a quiet victory, a testament to the intricate, unyielding dance between life and the frozen world that surrounds it. As the relentless grip of winter finally begins to loosen, the Alaskan wilderness stands poised on the threshold of transformation. For months, the land has been locked in a deep freeze, its rivers silent beneath thick ice, its forests shrouded in darkness, and every living creature tested by the extremes of cold and scarcity. Now, subtle shifts ripple through the landscape, hinting at the profound changes to come. The animals that have braved the winter's harshest trials are gaunt and exhausted, their fur dulled and their movements slow. Fat reserves are nearly gone, and every step is a testament to their endurance. Their bodies bear the marks of survival, patchy coats, wary eyes, and a cautious energy that betrays months of hunger and vigilance. The final weeks are the most perilous. A sudden blizzard or a lingering cold snap can be fatal for those already weakened by hunger and exposure. The snow, once a protective blanket, now becomes an obstacle, hiding the last scraps of food and sapping the last reserves of strength. Only the most resilient, the most resourceful, and the luckiest will see the season's end. Yet beneath the silence, subtle changes begin to stir. Tracks in the snow hint at survival, and the first buds push through the icy crust, signaling the earliest promise of renewal. The forest floor, once lifeless, now reveals tiny shoots of willow and alder, their buds swelling with the anticipation of warmth. Each day the sun lingers a little longer on the horizon. Its rays, once pale and distant, now carry a gentle warmth that seeps into the frozen ground. The snow softens, retreating in patches to reveal the earth beneath. Water trickles along the edges of ice, carving channels that will soon become rushing streams. For the survivors, this is a moment of profound relief. The first green shoots emerge, fragile yet determined, and hungry animals graze eagerly on the new growth, replenishing their strength after months of deprivation. Moose and caribou seek out the earliest sedges and grasses, while bears, newly awakened from hibernation, dig for roots and tubers exposed by the thaw. The ancient rhythms of migration resume. Caribou herds, driven by instinct and the promise of abundance, begin their long journey toward calving grounds. Bears, thin and ravenous, emerge from their dens, drawn by the scent of fresh vegetation and the hope of sustenance. The landscape becomes a stage for movement, as animals traverse thawing valleys and ridges in search of food and safety. The landscape itself transforms. Rivers, once locked in ice, surge with snowmelt, carving new paths through the awakening tundra. Wildflowers burst into bloom, painting the ground with vibrant color, while forests unfurl their leaves in a wave of green. The air, once dry and biting, now carries the scent of damp earth and the promise of growth. New life emerges everywhere. Moose mothers give birth to calves in sheltered meadows, their careful nurturing ensuring the next generation's survival. Wolf packs gather near their dens, preparing to raise their playful pups in the safety of the thawed forest. The chorus of new voices, calves, pups, and chicks, signals the renewal of the wild. The lessons of winter are passed on. Young animals learn to forage, to hunt, and to navigate the ever-changing landscape, guided by the wisdom of their elders, and the instincts honed by generations of survival. Fox kits chase insects in the warming sun, while wolf pups wrestle and explore under the watchful gaze of their pack. Survival here is not marked by grand triumphs, but by the quiet persistence of life. Each animal, each plant, is a thread in the tapestry of renewal that stretches across the land. The tundra, once silent and white, now hums with the activity of insects, the flutter of wings, and the rustle of new leaves. The silence of winter is replaced by the chorus of returning birds, their calls echoing across thawed lakes and rushing rivers. Musk oxen and lynx, survivors of the cold, forage among the first flush of spring growth. Migratory birds, guided by ancient memory, return to nest and raise their young in the brief but bountiful season. Bathed in the gentle light of a new season, the animals of Alaska stand as living proof of nature's resilience. They have endured the darkness and the cold, and now, in the promise of spring, they thrive once more, quiet, enduring, and forever wild. The land, awakened from its long slumber, pulses with life, each day a celebration of survival and renewal. In the heart of Alaska, survival is an art refined over millennia, a symphony of adaptation played out against a backdrop of ice and silence. As the thaw of spring reveals the secrets left by winter, we glimpse the remarkable adaptations that allow wildlife to endure the coldest extremes on Earth. Beneath the surface, life has evolved ingenious ways to persist, each species sculpted by the relentless cold. Under the snow's lingering blanket, the Arctic ground squirrel slumbers in a state akin to suspended animation. Its body temperature drops lower than that of any other mammal, even dipping below the freezing point of water. Specialized proteins in its blood prevent ice crystals from forming, while its heartbeat slows to a faint whisper. The squirrel's metabolism is so finely tuned that it can survive months without food, awakening only briefly to prevent tissue damage. This hibernation is a biological gamble, the ultimate test of endurance, where even a slight miscalculation can mean the difference between life and death. Wolves pace the forest's edge, their paws wide and furred for silent movement atop the snow. The structure of their feet distributes weight, preventing them from sinking, while fur between their toes insulates against frostbite. Beneath their dense double coats, a layer of insulating fat shields them from the biting wind. Their fur traps air, creating a microclimate close to the skin, and the outer guard hairs repel moisture, keeping the undercoat dry. Each breath steams in the frosty air, but their bodies are engineered to retain precious warmth. Blood vessels in their extremities constrict, reducing heat loss, while their bushy tails serve as scarves, wrapping around their faces during rest. The ptarmigan, a master of camouflage, wears winter white plumage that blends seamlessly into the snowy landscape. Its feathers extend down to its toes, insulating its feet and leaving no skin exposed to the cold. With each molt, its feathers thicken, trapping air and creating a natural barrier against the chill. The structure of each feather is adapted to maximize insulation, with downy filaments that interlock to hold warmth. When storms descend, the ptarmigan burrows into snowdrifts, using the insulating power of the very element it must survive. The snow acts as a thermal blanket, buffering the bird from wind and sub-zero temperatures. Moose, towering and stoic, rely on a unique circulatory system. Their massive bodies are covered in hollow guard hairs, which trap air and reduce heat loss. Blood vessels in their legs run close together, exchanging heat to minimize loss and keep their core warm even as limbs wade through icy rivers. This countercurrent exchange system is a marvel of evolutionary engineering. Their broad noses warm each breath, and their diet shifts to woody twigs when the lush summer grasses are buried beneath snow. Specialized gut microbes help them extract nutrients from tough, frozen vegetation. Even the smallest inhabitants have strategies. Tiny mammals, like shrews, maintain high metabolic rates, generating heat through constant activity and consuming nearly their body weight in food each day. The red-backed vole scurries through subnivean tunnels, hidden passageways beneath the snow's crust, safe from predators and insulated from the worst of the cold. Here the temperature remains just above freezing, a crucial buffer against the Arctic night. Each adaptation is a testament to evolution's ingenuity, from antifreeze proteins in fish that prevent their blood from freezing to the waxy coatings on evergreen needles that reduce water loss. Every organism is shaped by the demands of the Arctic. Lichens and mosses, clinging to rocks and tree trunks, photosynthesize at temperatures just above freezing, while their slow growth allows them to survive in nutrient-poor soils. Some plants produce sugars that act as natural antifreeze, protecting their cells from ice damage. In every whisker, feather, and heartbeat lies a story of survival, nature's quiet brilliance, on display in the wilds of Alaska. Here, life endures not by resisting the cold, but by embracing it, transforming adversity into opportunity with every ingenious adaptation. As Alaska's wildlife weathers the relentless cold, the land itself is transformed by the artistry of winter's icy hand, each feature shaped by ancient forces and the ceaseless march of time. The wilderness becomes a living canvas, where snow blankets the earth in pristine silence, softening jagged contours and concealing the restless geology beneath. Beneath this white shroud, ancient rock formations, once sculpted by volcanic fire and tectonic upheaval, are now etched anew by the slow, persistent pressure of ice and snow. Each winter, the land is reborn, its features sharpened or erased by the freeze-thaw cycles that fracture stone and shift the very ground. Glaciers, immense rivers of compressed snow and ice, flow with glacial patience through deep-cut valleys, their crystalline blue depths split by yawning crevasses, testaments to the immense pressures within. On their surfaces, wind sculpts snow into delicate cornices and sweeping drifts, each curve a fleeting masterpiece shaped by Arctic gales. The sun, barely rising above the horizon, casts a pale golden glow that stretches shadows across the endless ice fields, accentuating the undulating terrain and revealing the subtle textures of wind-packed snow and ancient ice. Hoar frost crystals, intricate and fragile, sprout from every exposed surface, branches, rocks, and even the ice itself, forming miniature forests of ice that shimmer in the weak daylight. Along the rugged coastline, the sea succumbs to the cold, birthing vast fields of sea ice that stretch outward in ever-shifting mosaics. These ice sheets fracture and collide, their jagged edges grinding together with the tides, sending deep, resonant groans across the frozen expanse. Where flows meet, pressure ridges rise. Walls of shattered ice thrust skyward, sculpted by the relentless force of wind and water. Along the shore, fantastical ice formations emerge, arches, spires, and crystalline towers, standing silent guard over the frozen seascape, shaped by salt spray and sub-zero winds. In the interior, mountain ranges rise like frozen fortresses, their peaks buried beneath thick mantles of snow that mute all sound. Swirling clouds cling to the summits, veiling the heights in shifting mists and lending the landscape an ethereal, otherworldly quality. Avalanches, sudden and thunderous, cascade down remote slopes, scouring the mountainsides and revealing the raw, restless energy that lies beneath the tranquil surface. Hidden beneath the snow's silent weight, permafrost, ancient ground frozen for millennia, anchors forests and tundra, its icy grip shaping the land above. The permafrost heaves and shifts, pushing up rounded mounds called pingos, ice-cored hills that rise unexpectedly from the flat tundra, their growth a slow-motion testament to the power of subterranean ice. Where the ice within melts, the ground collapses into thermokarst depressions, sunken hollows that fill with snow and shadow, marking the landscape with scars of change. These silent phenomena are the signatures of climate and time, each feature a chapter in the ongoing story of Alaska's transformation. Rivers, too, are caught in winter's grasp. Some freeze solid, their surfaces adorned with intricate patterns, delicate lacework of frost, crystalline fans and swirling ice flowers that trace the river's hidden currents. Others, warmed by geothermal springs, continue to flow beneath a thick blanket of snow, sending up wisps of steam that freeze into rime along the banks. These hidden channels carve secret paths through the frozen earth, waiting to burst forth with the first thaw of spring. In Alaska, winter is not merely a season, it is a master architect, wielding cold and time as its tools. The landscape is chiseled and molded, rocks and trees bent and shaped by the relentless advance of ice, each form a testament to endurance and adaptation. The result is a world of stark, haunting beauty, vast snowfields, jagged ice, and silent forests, where every detail is a record of the forces that shaped it. Here, geology and winter are inseparable partners, sculpting the wild, enduring north into a landscape both formidable and sublime. Beneath the endless frozen skies of Alaska, life endures in forms both subtle and extraordinary. The tundra, blanketed in snow and silence, may seem lifeless at first glance, but it harbors a remarkable community of plants that have mastered the art of survival in one of the harshest environments on Earth. In winter's grip, the tundra's muted palette hides a quiet resilience. Here, plants have evolved to withstand months of darkness, relentless winds, and temperatures that can plunge to -40°C. Without the shelter of tall forests, these species rely on their own adaptations. Many tundra plants grow low to the ground, hugging the earth to escape the full force of the wind and to benefit from the slight warmth radiating from the soil. Mosses and lichens form dense carpets across the frozen ground, their tiny structures clinging to rocks and soil. These organisms are among the first colonizers of the tundra, able to photosynthesize at temperatures just above freezing and even under a thin layer of snow. Their growth is incredibly slow, sometimes just a few millimeters per year, yet over centuries they create a living foundation for the ecosystem. Reindeer moss, a type of lichen, is not a true moss, but a partnership between fungus and algae. This symbiosis allows it to survive on minimal nutrients and to photosynthesize even in the faintest winter light. The fungal component provides structure and absorbs water, while the algae produce energy through photosynthesis, making the most of brief periods of sunlight. These pale, spongy mats act as natural insulation, trapping moisture and reducing evaporation. By holding on to water, they create tiny pockets of humidity that help other plants survive the dry Arctic air. Beneath these mats, the ground is slightly warmer and more protected, forming microclimates where seeds can germinate and insects can overwinter. Dwarf willows and Arctic poppies, some of the few flowering plants in this region, grow close to the ground. Their stems and leaves are pressed tightly against the soil, minimizing exposure and maximizing the limited warmth available. Their compact cushion-like forms reduce wind chill and help retain heat, while their flexible stems bend rather than break under the weight of snow and ice. Many tundra plants have leaves covered in fine hairs. These tiny structures trap a thin layer of air, providing insulation and reducing heat loss from the leaf surface. Below ground, roots spread wide rather than deep, taking advantage of the thin, active layer of soil above the permafrost. This shallow rooting system allows plants to quickly absorb nutrients and moisture during the brief summer thaw. The permafrost acts as a barrier, so roots must navigate horizontally, forming dense networks that stabilize the soil and help retain warmth. Some species, like the bearberry, have developed chemical defenses. They produce natural anti-freeze compounds within their cells, lowering the freezing point of their sap and preventing ice crystals from damaging delicate tissues. These antifreeze proteins bind to ice crystals, inhibiting their growth and allowing the plant to survive even when temperatures drop far below zero. Other plants, such as saxifrage, store energy in underground stems or rhizomes. These reserves sustain them through the long winter, enabling rapid growth as soon as conditions improve. When the snow begins to melt and sunlight returns, these plants are ready to emerge almost overnight, taking advantage of every moment of the short Arctic summer. Flowering and seed production happen at a breathtaking pace, ensuring the next generation before the cold returns. Snow, often seen as a threat, becomes a vital ally. As it accumulates, it forms a thick insulating blanket over the tundra. This snow cover traps heat from the earth, keeping the soil temperature higher than the frigid air above and protecting roots from the most extreme cold. Under this protective layer, roots and plant bases remain insulated, reducing the risk of frost damage and dehydration. Seeds and dormant buds rest beneath the snow, shielded from wind and temperature swings, waiting for the first signs of spring. As the sun climbs higher and the snow recedes, these hidden survivors awaken, ready to begin the cycle anew. In this frozen expanse, Alaska's tundra plants reveal a profound mastery of adaptation. Their biology, shaped by millennia of evolution, allows them to thrive in a world where few others can. Each strategy, whether chemical, structural, or behavioral, contributes to a tapestry of survival, woven into the very fabric of the Arctic landscape. These silent, steadfast plants stand as a testament to the ingenuity of life, enduring and flourishing at the very edge of the world. As the Arctic year tilts into winter, Alaska is transformed by an elemental ballet of light and darkness, an interplay that shapes every facet of the land. Above the tundra, the sun's arc contracts with each passing day until, in the farthest reaches north, it slips below the horizon for weeks on end, ushering in the polar night when true daylight becomes a memory. In this prolonged twilight, the sky glows with a perpetual indigo, and the horizon flickers with a faint, ethereal band of color. The Aurora Borealis unfurls in silent curtains, emerald, violet, and crimson, dancing across the heavens, their charged particles colliding with the upper atmosphere to paint the darkness with living light. Yet this darkness is never absolute. Atmospheric ice crystals catch stray photons, scattering them into halos and pillars that shimmer above the snow, while distant starlight glimmers with unusual clarity in the crisp, dry air. The moon, when it rises, bathes the landscape in a spectral glow, casting elongated shadows that stretch across wind-carved drifts. Under a full moon, the snowfields gleam with a silvery brilliance, revealing the delicate tracery of frost and the subtle undulations of the terrain. Snow becomes a living canvas, reflecting the faintest glimmers, blue in the pre-dawn hours, blushing pink at the brief midday, and deepening to violet as dusk returns. Minute ice crystals refract the scant light, creating halos and sundogs that hover like spectral guardians above the horizon. In this world sculpted by shadow, the frozen ground reveals new textures. Hoar frost feathers the branches of tundra shrubs, and wind sculpts the snow into sinuous ridges called sastrugi, their forms shifting with every storm. For Alaska's wildlife, these contrasts are a signal. Arctic foxes don their white winter coats, blending seamlessly into the snow, while caribou navigate by the faint glow of the aurora, their hooves crunching over the crusted surface in search of lichen. Nocturnal rhythms shift. Some animals become more active under the cover of darkness, while others conserve energy, their metabolism slowing in response to the long night. The rare flare of midday sun is a cue for movement, a brief window to forage or hunt. Beneath the snow, tundra plants lie dormant, insulated by the thick white blanket. Even in darkness, they sense the gradual lengthening of days. Their internal clocks are tuned to the subtlest changes in light filtering through the snowpack. The ice itself is alive with sound, creaking, groaning, and shifting as temperatures fluctuate. When the aurora brightens or the moon rises, the frozen rivers and lakes reflect the spectacle above, their surfaces fracturing and reforming in response to the cold and the faint warmth of returning light. When the sun finally returns, it is a revelation. The first rays spill across the horizon, igniting the snow in liquid gold, and the land stirs from its long slumber. Sunbeams pierce the lingering gloom, setting the snow ablaze with colour and coaxing the first signs of life from beneath the ice. The air shimmers with diamond dust, tiny ice crystals suspended in the sunlight, sparkling in the frigid air. In this land, where day and night can each reign for months, the rhythm of existence is written in the language of light, its absence, its return, and the infinite gradations in between. Each transition brings new phenomena, sun pillars, moonbows, and the rare, fiery mirage of the Arctic Fata Morgana. Here at the world's edge, Alaska's winter is not merely a season, but a symphony of illumination and shadow, a testament to the artistry of nature and the resilience of all who endure its extremes. Beneath Alaska's immense frozen wilderness, a hidden world of rivers and lakes undergoes a transformation as profound as any mountain rising or forest deepening. Here, water is both sculptor and subject, shaped by the relentless grip of winter and the subtle forces that stir beneath the ice. As the first cold winds sweep across the land, rivers slow their pace, thickening with each falling degree. Gradually, the surface hardens, locking the water below in a crystalline embrace. Lakes, too, surrender to the cold, their surfaces sealed beneath glassy armor that grows thicker with every frigid night. Yet, beneath this apparent stillness, life and movement persist. Water continues to flow in secret, weaving through narrow channels and crevices, carrying nutrients and oxygen to the creatures that depend on its passage. The ice above is a living record of the season's fury. Wind sculpts its surface into ripples and ridges, while plunging temperatures etch intricate patterns of frost and fracture. Pressure ridges rise where the ice buckles and heaves, forming jagged spines that stretch across the landscape. Snowdrifts settle in thick, insulating layers, muffling the world below and trapping precious warmth beneath their weight. In the darkness beneath, a realm of shadows and silence unfolds. Here, sunlight is a distant memory, and the world is ruled by cold and quiet. Even so, water carves hidden channels, keeping pockets of liquid open. These secret corridors are lifelines for fish and invertebrates, offering refuge from the crushing cold above. For the aquatic inhabitants, survival demands extraordinary adaptation. Fish glide slowly through the frigid water, their bodies tuned to conserve every ounce of energy. Arctic grayling and lake trout enter a state of suspended animation, their metabolism dropping to a fraction of its summer speed. They drift in near stillness, drawing on fat reserves and waiting for the return of warmth. In the muddy sediment, tiny invertebrates cluster together, surviving on stored nutrients and the faint trickle of organic matter that drifts down from above. Oxygen becomes scarce as the ice thickens, and only the most resilient species endure. Air bubbles trapped beneath the ice offer fleeting pockets of relief, while others adapt to the thinning air by slowing their movements and reducing their needs. With the first blush of spring, the world above begins to change. Sunlight lingers longer each day, and the ice, once unyielding, starts to soften and crack. The great thaw arrives in a spectacle of sound and motion. Ice fractures with thunderous cracks, breaking apart in massive sheets that tumble downstream, releasing torrents of pent-up water. Rivers surge with meltwater, their currents sweeping away the remnants of winter. Lakes awaken, their surfaces dotted with drifting ice as life stirs beneath the warming sun. These waterways, silent and hidden for months, become arteries of renewal. They nourish the land, carrying nutrients to waiting plants and awakening the creatures that depend on their flow. In the cold, clear water, fish dart and feed, their energy restored by the abundance of spring. Invertebrates emerge from the mud, beginning the cycle anew. Alaska's icy waters are corridors of endurance and ingenuity, shaped by the ceaseless interplay of season and survival. Here, every drop, every current, and every living creature is a testament to nature's resilience in the face of unrelenting cold. In Alaska, the transition between seasons is never abrupt. Instead, it unfolds in a tapestry of subtle, intricate signals, each one a quiet herald of change. The wilderness itself becomes a silent messenger. Mosses, once hidden beneath snow, begin to peek through in shaded hollows, their emerald hues deepening as sunlight lingers. Long before the first thaw, the sun hovers just above the horizon, stretching golden rays across the snowfields. The light grows richer, painting the landscape in fleeting amber and rose. Shadows, once sharp and blue, soften at the edges. The air, tinged with the faintest scent of damp earth, carries a subtle warmth that hints at the coming thaw. On the snow's surface, delicate patterns emerge, wind-carved ridges and crystalline etchings that shift with each passing day. Hoarfrost, once thick and opaque, begins to recede. On windows and branches, it leaves behind intricate lacework, each pattern unique and fleeting. The snow transforms. By day, its surface grows grainy and sun-crusted, sparkling with embedded ice. By night, it refreezes into a brittle shell that cracks under the weight of passing animals. Animal tracks multiply. Caribou carve winding trails through the drifts, their hooves pressing deep. Foxes weave delicate paths, pausing to listen for the faint rustle of voles beneath the snow. The forest, silent for months, stirs with new sounds. The soft tapping of woodpeckers echoes among the trees, and the distant call of a raven signals the lengthening days. Within birch and spruce, sap begins to flow. The trunks darken with moisture, and resin beads glisten in the pale light, readying the trees for the surge of growth to come. On the tundra, willow buds swell, their silver casings splitting to reveal the first hints of green. Lichen and dwarf shrubs awaken, their colours intensifying against the melting snow. Beneath the ice, meltwater trickles in secret channels, carving new paths through the earth. The sound is faint, a whisper of movement beneath the frozen crust. The sky, too, transforms. Clouds drift higher, tinged with lavender and gold, while the horizon glows with the promise of longer days. the aurora shifts. Winter's deep greens give way to fleeting pinks and violets, ribbons of colour that fade as dawn approaches, signalling the slow return of the sun. The land remains hushed, but every detail, every track, every bud, every glint of light speaks of transformation. It is a language written in ice and shadow, understood by every creature that calls this place home. In Alaska, the seasons do not simply turn. They reveal themselves in whispers and signs, each one a testament to the resilience and anticipation that define life in the far north. Here, change is a process, subtle, patient, and deeply rooted in the rhythm of the wild, where every living thing listens for the quiet signals of the shifting seasons. Beneath Alaska's vast, silent snowfields lies a world few ever see, a realm where life persists in the coldest, darkest months. Here, under layers of ice and compacted snow, the soil teems with invisible inhabitants. Microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, and archaea form the beating heart of this hidden ecosystem. Encased in darkness, these tiny survivors enter a state of suspended animation. Many bacteria slow their metabolism to a crawl, conserving precious energy as temperatures plunge far below freezing. Some produce specialized proteins, cold shock proteins, that shield their delicate structures and prevent ice crystals from shredding their cell walls. Others excrete antifreeze compounds, allowing them to remain active in microscopic pockets of liquid water trapped between soil grains. Fungi weave intricate networks through the frozen earth, their filaments snaking around pebbles and roots. In winter, they focus on survival rather than growth, storing energy in dense, resistant spores. These spores can endure months of sub-zero temperatures, ready to burst back to life when warmth returns. Even in the icy dark, chemical conversations continue. Microbial communities communicate with faint pulses, molecules exchanged in the thin film of water surrounding soil particles. Some bacteria gather in clusters, forming protective biofilms that shield them from the cold and from predatory soil amoeba. These alliances are fragile, yet they provide a crucial edge in the struggle for survival. Deep below, where the frost cannot reach, life remains more active. Here, layers of decomposing plant matter feed a slow-motion cycle of decay. Anaerobic bacteria break down this organic material, releasing nutrients that will fuel the spring's explosion of growth. Methanogens, specialized archaea, produce methane gas, which gathers in the soil and sometimes escapes as faint bubbles through cracks in the ice. The roots of tundra plants, though dormant above ground, maintain a silent partnership with mycorrhizal fungi. These fungi trade nutrients and water with their hosts, keeping both alive through the long, cold night. When the snow finally melts, this underground network will awaken first, primed and ready to support the rapid burst of life above. While the surface lies still and silent, the soil beneath is anything but dead. It is a realm of quiet endurance, where life adapts in ingenious ways, slowing down, huddling together, and waiting for the return of the sun. In Alaska's frozen earth, survival is measured not in days, but in the patient persistence of the microscopic and the unseen. Above the endless white, an invisible force sculpts the Arctic landscape. In Alaska's winter, wind and storms are the unseen architects, restless, relentless, and essential to the rhythm of life. Cold, dense air masses sweep down from the polar ice cap, colliding with warmer currents from the Pacific. These atmospheric clashes ignite powerful blizzards, their icy breath howling across tundra and forest. Snowflakes, once gently fallen, are swept up and hurled across the land. Drifts rise like ocean waves, reshaping valleys and blanketing entire forests in a single night. The wind's artistry is everywhere. Cornices curl along ridgelines, sculpted by gusts that never tire. In open country, snow is stripped from hilltops and funneled into hollows, creating wind-blown barrens punctuated by deep, sheltered pockets. These hidden caches become vital lifelines for wildlife. For the Arctic fox, the wind is both adversary and ally. It follows the storm's trail, sniffing out exposed lemmings or scavenging from windswept kills. Caribou, heads bowed, seek refuge in the lee of drifts, where the snow is softer and easier to paw through in search of buried lichen. Even the mighty musk ox forms tight circles, presenting their thickest coats to the biting gusts, shielding calves in the wind's shadow. Each storm leaves its mark. Ice crystals driven by gale-force winds, sandblast tree trunks, sculpting twisted forms. On the tundra, exposed soil freezes harder, while sheltered depressions become sanctuaries where seeds and spores survive the winter's fury. High above, the shifting winds shape the clouds themselves, drawing curtains of snow across the sky, blocking out the pale sun. When the storm passes, the air is transformed, crisp, clear, and electric, carrying the promise of change. In Alaska's winter wilderness, wind and storms are more than weather. They are the shapers of destiny. Through their restless dance, they test the resilience of every living creature, redrawing the boundaries of survival with each passing gale. As darkness deepens over Alaska's Arctic wilds, the sky ignites with silent fire. Ribbons of green, violet, and crimson undulate above the frozen landscape. The Aurora Borealis, a celestial ballet unique to the polar night, born from the collision of charged solar particles with Earth's magnetic shield. These lights shimmer and ripple across the heavens, their dance both ancient and ever-changing. Above the tundra, the aurora's glow bathes snowfields and forests in an unearthly radiance. The science is as mesmerizing as the spectacle itself. When solar winds unleash streams of electrons and protons toward Earth, they spiral along magnetic field lines, colliding with atmospheric gases high above Alaska. Oxygen breathes emerald and scarlet into the night. Nitrogen whispers blue and purple at the fringes. Each flicker is a testament to the invisible energy flowing between sun and planet. For the creatures of Alaska's winter, the aurora's arrival signals more than beauty. Caribou, resting beneath the open sky, stir as the shifting lights disrupt the darkness, casting moving shadows across the snow. Nocturnal predators pause, their keen senses attuned to subtle changes in illumination. Arctic hares freeze, blending into the illuminated drifts, while snowy owls wait patiently, watching for any movement betrayed by the auroral glow. Scientists have observed that some migratory birds, even in winter, use the faint geomagnetic cues enhanced by the aurora to orient themselves during long, moonless journeys. Beneath the snow, small mammals remain sheltered in their subnivean tunnels, the lights above passing unnoticed, yet the electromagnetic pulses subtly influence the navigation of creatures sensitive to Earth's magnetic field. The aurora's energy reaches beyond mere spectacle. During intense displays, atmospheric ionization increases, altering the chemistry of the upper air. Ozone forms in thin layers, affecting the delicate balance of gases that shield the world below. Even the temperature at the edge of space shifts, as waves of energy ripple through the polar atmosphere. In these moments, Alaska's night is transformed. The land, the water, and the beings who dwell here share a silent communion beneath the aurora's gaze. It is a reminder that even in the deepest winter, the forces of the cosmos are at play, binding earth and sky, life and light, in a tapestry woven from the mysteries of the universe. In Alaska's farthest reaches, where mountains pierce the sky and valleys plunge into shadow, ancient rivers of ice carve their slow, relentless paths. Glaciers, vast living monuments to winter's dominion, creep forward, centimetre by centimetre, sculpting the land with every passing year. Born from centuries of layered snowfall, compacted and transformed by pressure and time, these colossal ice flows pulse with silent power, reshaping the wilderness in their wake. Along the frozen flanks of Denali and the coastal ranges, glaciers grind stone to powder, gouging out deep fjords and broad U-shaped valleys. Beneath their immense weight, the earth yields fractured and molded by the steady advance of crystalline giants. Each crevasse and serac tells a story of movement, of ice surging forward in fits and starts, responding to the pull of gravity and the subtle shifts in temperature and snowfall. As glaciers move, they carry with them ancient cargo, boulders, gravel and silt scoured from the mountainsides. When the ice recedes, it leaves behind moraines, ridges of debris that mark the glacier's slow retreat. These deposits become new habitats where hardy mosses and lichens are the first to colonize the raw earth, followed by willows, alders, and eventually forests. In the meltwater streams that pour from the glacier's snout, salmon return to spawn, their lives intertwined with the cycles of ice and thaw. Within the glacier's belly, hidden tunnels and blue-lit caverns echo with the drip of meltwater. Here, microbial life thrives in the darkness, adapted to the cold and pressure, playing quiet roles in the cycling of nutrients. Above, ptarmigan and mountain goats navigate the icy ridges, feeding on sparse vegetation that clings to the margins of the ice. Even in the heart of winter, the glacier is never truly still. It creaks and groans, shifting imperceptibly, responding to the weight of snow above and the warmth of the earth below. Its influence stretches far beyond its frozen surface, cooling the air, feeding rivers, and shaping the destiny of every living thing in its shadow. In Alaska's wild heart, glaciers are more than relics of the past. They are architects of the present, forging new landscapes and sustaining life in the cold silence. Their journey is measured not in days or seasons, but in millennia, a testament to the enduring dance between ice, stone, and the living world. Beneath the snow and ice, where temperatures plunge and sunlight fades, a hidden world of tiny titans endures Alaska's unforgiving winter. Here, insects and invertebrates, often overlooked, are masters of survival, employing ingenious adaptations to withstand the Arctic cold. As the first frosts settle, many Arctic insects enter a state called diapause, a suspended animation where development halts and metabolic rates drop to a whisper. Some, like the Arctic woolly bear caterpillar, stretch their lives across several years, freezing solid each winter only to thaw and resume feeding in the brief summer. Their cells brim with cryoprotectants, natural antifreezes like glycerol and sugars, that prevent lethal ice crystals from forming within their tissues. Other species, such as springtails and snow fleas, brave the surface even in the heart of winter. Their bodies are coated with proteins that repel ice and keep them agile atop the snow, where they scavenge for microscopic algae and detritus. Burrowed deep in the soil, beetle larvae and tiny mites find insulation beneath layers of moss and leaf litter, where temperatures remain just above freezing despite the frigid air above. Aquatic invertebrates, too, persist under the ice of frozen streams and ponds. Stonefly nymphs and caddisfly larvae slow their metabolism, clinging to rocks in oxygen-rich water, feeding on decaying plant matter. Their life cycles are synchronized with the seasons. Eggs laid in summer may not hatch until the following spring, while some larvae endure months encased in ice before emerging to complete their transformation. These creatures are more than survivors. They are vital engineers of the Arctic ecosystem. Insects break down organic matter, recycle nutrients, and serve as an essential food source for birds, fish, and small mammals. Even in winter, the faint flutter of a moth's wing or the silent crawl of a springtail signals life's persistence. Through antifreeze chemistry, clever insulation, and the art of patience, Alaska's insects and invertebrates have carved out niches in a realm where few others dare to thrive. Their stories unfold in miniature beneath the snow, each one a testament to the resilience and diversity of life at the edge of the cold.